What is orange peel? So if you look at the edge of this reflection, you'll see that the edge is scattered. It's not perfectly refined like a true mirror. That is orange peel effect. The clear coat will be the top layer that sits atop of the base coat / color coat. The clear coat is very thin. What I want to do is show you wet sanding. What I'm going to do is just do an initial tape off. This is regular painter's tape. This is 2000 grit. The P stands for P grit, which is a higher level of performance, as in more uniform. Okay, so why would you want to wet sand versus just buffing? Well, I can reduce it once again down to one word: control. We'll see what captures. I'm going to lightly sand across this. And what happens is, because I'm using a block, now this is a pretty firm block, but it's not completely rigid. It's still malleable, which means if I forced it hard enough, but if I wanted to retain the curvature, I would be using a softer, more malleable block, because what I want to block this so that I just take off the high points down to a level that I've determined is acceptable or safe. What the goal of the sandpaper is to control. And this is a used pad, FYI, for a previous video. This is very malleable. So if I was just to think like, oh, I'm gonna remove the orange peel by just buffing it away, well, no, you're not. Because what you've done is you've lost control. Because not only will you be buffing the high spots, but you'll also be simultaneously buffing the low spots. So before that orange peel gets flattened out, you will burn through the clear coat. So sandpaper is control, and the block specifically is additional control, because I want it as flat as possible. Because what I want to do is literally shave off, sand off the high points, and get closer and bridge the gap between the low points of the orange peel and the high points of the orange peel. So what you're looking for is the rough sanded areas, the scratch marks, but you'll see that it's uneven. That's because of the block and the rigidness of the sandpaper also, that it literally just sanded the high points of this area, but all those low points have remained untouched. But if I was to take a buffer to it, I would be buffing the high points and the low points simultaneously. Let's scan, and you'll see now that I've taken it down. There's still some areas that are not quite fully dry. The sandpaper had little impact towards the edge of the tape, but you'll see that some of these areas I took down the orange peel 100%, and that literally the orange peel is not created equal, meaning every high point, if you were able to measure it, would literally be different height than the next high point, as well as a low point. So this would be the limitation of the moment, is that I don't have that kind of clear coat to take it down all the way to perfectly flat, as in zero texture. So that's part of the limitations. I'm going to start polishing here. So you can see the new polish. I'm turning this up to 1400 RPMs. And this is how we teach it. Put the polish in the middle, infuse it into the pad. Now this is where Rotary really comes in, because I can go up onto an edge and really create a higher level of friction and cut to the chase. So I hope you're picking up what I am putting down. I'm going to come back in with an application of polish. I'll show you what I got. Now at this point, I would be willing to guess that I'm probably about 98% corrected as far as sanding marks go. Now I'm not going to overly scrutinize it. Let's see what shows up on this. So this is my corrected area, which is looking pretty refined, but I can tell it's not perfect. And once again, so I'll show you this area of the car, and it should be revealing all kinds of spider webbing, cobwebbing, wash, scratch as compared to this area. See how that light source is more refined? Now, one of my tricks is I take out readers. These are serious magnifiers. I think they're like 3.25. See, there's some blemishes in this paint that are so deep that the amount of sanding I did still not deep enough to remove it, as well as I can still see orange peel because I'm using the light above to cast a reflection here, which is going to be different than your reflection, and I can see that the outline of that reflection is not like a true mirror. What I'm going to do now is look at this through my unaided eye, just kind of scrutinize, and once again, lighting at this level of work, if I'm charging thousands of dollars to do this kind of work, lighting is truly critical. I would be working in different lighting conditions, but to try to capture on film is very different than having my customer come out and scrutinizing the work. But what you can see is that there's more refinement to the edges of the reflected overhang of the roof garage, the trees, specifically looks like the trees right through here, way more clarity. But since I already had the DA polisher out, I'm gonna switch to the Max Shine 15 millimeter. This is our blue cutting pad for the DA application. FYI, I had that speed set to 6. Scan down the edge of this. The sand marks essentially stopped about here. The tape was here. So we'll see how does the refinement look here compared to down here. So look at the reflection of the trees. That's what I want you to be paying attention to. Now, let's look at the reflection of the trees here. That's what I want you to be paying attention to in this moment. And you can see really how quickly I went through this. This is a job that would take, could take weeks of time based on the moment, the customer, the level of precision. The key word today is swan. Below in the comments, don't add any context to it. No spoiler alert. This is the secret word today. Put that in the comments below, because those people that didn't endure the video long enough are going to be like, what's going on? Why does everyone keep putting the word swan independent by itself? I don't get what is going on. If you want to make another comment, just do it separately, and I would love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your questions. That will give me content to produce videos moving forward. See you on the next video.